Hello, this is Joanne Hewins from lovetocreate.typepad.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I want to show you how to make this card. This is part of the North Carolina demo blog hop for February. Our theme is keeping in the lines, and so we're using some kind of lined stamp and talking about ways to color them. I used blends for mine. For our card today, we're going to be using the All That You Are stamp set. This is on page 2 of the Occasions catalog, right on the inside cover. It's a little hard to see that right away. It's easy to miss, maybe I should say. And this stamp set coordinates with the Frosted Bouquet framelits. These were part of the holiday catalog, but they were carried over, and these two small flowers coordinate with this. So good to know, isn't it? We're also going to be using the Varied Vases stamp set for our sentiments. I love this hello, and that's what we're going to be using. We're also going to be using the Rectangle Stitched Framelits. These can be found in the Occasions catalog, and they are on page 28 down in the lower left corner, so don't miss out on those. And then the old good standbys, the stitch shaped framelits. So let's get started. We're going to be using Poppy Parade for our base, and this is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. So I've already folded that and burnished it with my bone folder. The next layer is Old Olive, and this is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 because I just wanted the tiniest of borders on this. I needed to keep my white piece as large as I could. So the white piece is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And the first thing that we want to do is stamp our big image. So I've got it here on the Stamparatus. Here's our white piece. I'm going to put on my magnet, and we're going to ink this up with the Memento Black ink. So ink that. It's pretty good, but I want it good and dark, so I'm going to try to ink this up one more time. And that's the wonderful thing about the Stamparatus, is it's going to stamp right in the very same place. And look at that great dark image. All right, now we want to cut our image apart. And to do that, we're going to use these rectangle shapes. Now this is the way they came. Now I've transferred them to a magnetic sheet, but this is the way it was placed. And you can see you've got this group right here of long, skinny framelits. We're going to use the two in the middle of this for our cutting. I'm going to go ahead and pull in the Big Shot for this. And I've got the magnetic plate, I've got a clear plate, and then we'll work with these images. So what I want is for this to be in the middle. And the way I kind of determined that really was by placing these on this one on the side and then placing it over here to see how much room I had. I think that is about where I would need this one. And I'm going, even though I've got it on a magnetic plate, I'm going to hold it with a piece of washi tape. Let me get this placed on here. I'm trying to fix this one so it's equidistant from the top and the bottom as well as the sides. I'm going to bring in another piece of washi, And we'll get our other plate and run this through. I'm going to run it back through just to make sure we've got these end edges cut. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these carefully, because I don't want to pull up any of the card with the washi. And then we've got one more cut to make with this smaller one, and we're going to try to place it equidistant. And let's go ahead and cut that. All right, I think that looks pretty good. We'll pull this apart and set the big shot away for just a few moments. And the next thing we want to do is add this base to our card base. So I'm going to put some snail along here. I also want those sides to be done well. I'm going to put just a little bit of the multi-purpose glue. I'm going to try to keep it light, because I don't really want it smashing out everywhere, although it does dry clear. And then we'll see if we can put this. And once again, I do try to hold mine from the corner and get it placed opposite corners, diagonal corners, and get it placed down there. Okay, so there we have that, and we can actually go ahead and put this on the base of our card. Looks like I've got a little sticky there, and I think I can erase that in a little bit and get the rest of that off. I don't have one over here. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is color these pieces. We're going to do that with our blends, and for this I'm using the light and dark Old Olive, the light and dark Poppy Parade, and the dark Mango Melody as part of that. So I'm going to start over here on this side and just color in these leaves. I'm going to color them with the light Old Olive. And what happens with this is that the raised portion of the card will be colored, and the part that is down below will not be colored. And I'm not sure it's my favorite thing to do, but it's a little bit different, something a little bit different to show you. So I'm just adding the light Old Olive, a little bit of the dark, and then going back over it with the light Old Olive. So that's got that part done, and I'm going to go ahead and color in this part here. And it's hard to color on camera, so I might go out of the lines a little bit, which is strange because we're talking about keeping it within the lines. But I know you don't want to see the top of my head. So I'm going to add in some more of the dark here. I'm just going to add some down the stem a little. And then we'll go back over it with the light. Okay, and then this is a leaf over here. I'm not super careful when I color with these. And that's the beauty of it all, because you can just kind of blend it together and it's going to look pretty good. Okay, this part up here, to kind of look at my picture and see what it is part of, now I've seen some people color these as leaves and some color them as part of a bloom. And I chose to color it as part of a bloom just to get some color in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of the darker there. And then I'm going to color these little flowers in the mango, dark mango melody. The rest of this is going to be that big flower, so I'm just going to use the big end on that. I'm really trying to kind of hurry on this because I know you don't want to be looking at this forever. And then I'm going to add some of the dark down here along the bottom, here, and in here. And then we'll just blend that in just a little. So that takes care of that part. And then we're going to go over here again. I'm using that white color. Just a little bit of dark around here. And blend. Sorry. These blends do have a brush end and then a bullet end. And it is easy to tell by the thin line or the thick line and the small nib or the large nib, but I am failing to look at that very well. This is going to be part of the leaf here. And then we've got some more of those small flowers. Okay, now what we want to do is add these with some of the adhesive strips. These are the foam adhesive strips. So let me get those out. Now some of this is kind of busy work, but just kind of wanted you to see how I was doing it. And I just kind of lay it there and measure. Oops. Get a piece. That's a little bit long, so let me clip that. And I can go ahead and add this right here in the little window. And that's the way we'll do the others. I hate to take up so much time doing this. card making, isn't it? I'm going to get that little corner. I think this will be okay down here, but I'm just going to go ahead and add just a little. So let me peel off those pieces. Okay, so that one will go right in here. And then we've got one more. Oops. And I think I can just do one across the top there and get that. It's a little long. Okay. So that's the most difficult part, and the part that I really wanted to show you. Now, I did a mistake. Let's see if I can pull that up enough to get this wrapped around a couple of times. You never forget a step, do you? Be honest. Okay. And then I just have a bow that I've already made. This is the Old Olive linen thread. It's also in the Occasions catalog. I just took my glue dot and rolled it up in a little line there. And I'm going to add that down here. Okay. Now for the flowers, I've already colored one of those, and somewhere I have one cut out, but I don't see it right now. I've got some of my leaves done. Okay. The flower I'm going to stamp on scrap paper, and I'm going to use the Memento ink, and I'm going to need 3 of those because I've got one that is inside the card, and I'll show you the inside, and then 2 that are down here. And okay, we'll do 3. I've already colored one of them for you, and I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm just going to color one of them for you. Oops, that's the dark. I'm just going to color one of them for you, and then we don't really need to do the inside for right now. Now, you have the framelits that will cut out the flower. I was about to forget the inside here. And I showed you, I think I might have showed you that there are 2 of the flower framelits, so we can cut 2 of them out at a time. And so that's what we'll do. And then the leaf stamp, you have to cut with your scissors. So I did stamp those already. It looks like that, and I used the light and the dark old olive to color those. So let's pull in the big shot again, and we're going to be using these framelits from the Frosted Bouquet. Let me get my plate. And then we'll place these 2 small ones on there, and we can cut both of these at the same time. Now, because this is small, it sometimes shifts It looks like that one's going to stay in place. Let's see how this one's going to do. Okay, looks like it's going to stay in place. So we're going to go with that and hope. Okay. So we have our flowers and we have our leaves. We bring back in the card, and I'm just going to take a glue dot and add it to the front, oops, of two of these leaves. And one will go out this way, and one will go out, oops, this way. And then we'll add some dimensionals to those. And add them down here to the bottom of the card. So this one is going to go out that way. So I've got it covering the card just a little, but also going out to the side. And then just put this one like this. Okay. Now let me give you a suggestion. I think that I just did something that I consider wrong, because I used the foam on this the rest of this. The dimensionals are going to be a little bit shorter, or not as high, so I probably should have put some of the foam back behind there rather than the dimensional. It's okay, but I think that I'm going to get a glue dot and put it right back here to hold that down a little. So, alright, and now we're ready for the hello up at the top. So I've got another piece of memento, or another piece of Whisper White, I'm sorry, and I'm going to stamp the hello. And then we're just going to take that and run it through the Big Shot with the smallest oval. Okay, and since we've already done a couple of those for you, I'm just going to run it through real quick instead of pulling all of that in. So I have that ready, and we're going to add that to the card. Now I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and add it with dimensionals since I did these, and give a little height. I did not do that on the card that I showed you today, but I decided that it needed a little height, and the reason being that I had added 2 leaves to this, and it just I did it with glue dots, and it just seemed to take to make that stick up a little bit on there. I don't know that you can see it with that, but I didn't like the way it looked. So I'm going to add that there, and I've got I needed another leaf, but we'll just do one. And there you go. There's the outside of that card. It just has the raised pieces that are colored. The rest is not. And let me show you again how I finished off the inside of that. From the varied vases, I used the stamp that says, "Hoping your day blooms with happiness." And then I added another flower. And I just stamped this right on the paper and colored it, and then I did cut out another flower to put on the inside. So there you go. I hope you'll try this, and don't forget to do the rest of the blog hop. Thank you. If you need any supplies, I would love to be your demonstrator. I really, really, really would. And if you like this video, I would appreciate it if you would share it with others. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.